Say for Yehושע, Parak Aleph, Pasuk Tazayin. Via'nu as Yehושע laemar, they answered Yehושע saying the following: Kol asher tzivisonu nasa, everything that you command us to do, we'll do. But kol asher tשלחנו נלך, and anything that which you would send us, we will go. A couple of ha'aras on this pasuk. Who's talking over here? And it doesn't say a makom that if you send us to a place that we'll do what we're going to do. So who's talking over here? I think that's the most important ha'ara on the pasuk, because it seems like the Mefarshim are grappling with this question a little bit. It would sound like from the pashtus to the psukim that Yeshua was talking to the Bnei Gad and Bnei Ruvain. He's reminding them of what they were mekabel on themselves by Moshe Rabbeinu. Now, we spoke of Pasuk Yud that Yeshua was talking to Klal Yisrael, but he faced the Shaitrim and he told them, Ivru b'karv ha'machana. And he told Shevet Ruvain Begod, Zechoras ha'davar. And it's mashma from the continuation, from the context of the Psukim, that everybody, all of Klal Yisrael answered him, Via'nu es Yehושע laemar. Because aside from what Yeshua said to the Shaitrim, and what Yeshua spoke to Bnei Gad and Bnei Ruvain, we don't really see any specific context in the pasuk, who he was talking to, how he was talking to, who was standing, where was anybody standing, were they all gathered around him, were they all sitting, were they all standing, where were they, what was going on here. It's very vague in the psukim. It's I wouldn't even say it's vague, it just doesn't say anything, it's very not clear. There's really very little context to understand what these psukim are talking about. So the Kliyokar says that it was done al yidei shliach, and he says b'li safek she'mashliach atzma sheshalach lemishuei lavanu davar, that without a doubt that this is from a shliach, and this is what the shliach, the laemar is going on what the shliach is saying to Yeshua, or what the shliach should say to Yeshua, and he was using humility, and they said, we could talk direct. We don't need to have a shliach. But he says, na'sa tשלחנו, we're going to do. But the Me'em Leis brings that it was done shalai al yidei shliach. It was done directly. It was a regular communication without any go-between. And he says, he spoke very respectfully to them. So they too, to reciprocate that respect, they did it without a shliach. They went on their own. They spoke to him respectfully. Even if you tell us directly to do something, or even if you tell us with a shliach, we're ready to listen to you to do whatever to do whatever the command is. And most certainly, if you're going to send us together with all of Klal Yisrael, and that's why the pasuk repeats itself and it says Kol asher tzivisonu nasa, al kol asher tשלחנו נלך, and meaning that you could understand the pasuk like this: we're ready to listen to everything that you can tell us to do today. We're going to be interested in listening to you tomorrow, next week, next year, and 10 years from now. But once you makabel on yourself the morus and the malchus and the however you want to word it, the hanhag of Yeshua, so then this is where the Kabbalah is starting. Kol asher tzivisonu nasa, al kol asher tשלחנו נלך. And this is really referring to what would happen in the future, like far into the future, even after everybody settled in their land in Eretz Yisrael. It would, in a certain outfit, it would sound like that he's telling them, okay, listen, this is what you got to do, Bnei Gad, Bnei Ruvain, this is what you got to do, and shine, you'll do what you got to do, you go home, and then game over, and then you're not going to be mechuyev to listen to him anymore. But that's not true. They were being mekabel on themselves for the future. That's al kol asher tשלחנו נלך. We're going to go anywhere you tell us where to go, even after we have returned to our homes. The minute that you tell us, that you command us to go to a certain place, we're going to go. And that's taka what happened. That after many years, after they already went home and they were already settled in their cities, Yeshua sent a message to them, and to help them fight a war, and they came, right? We spoke before that the Pashas is that Yeshua is talking to the Shaitrim, and they're speaking for all of Klal Yisrael, and it's Lav Dafka going up Bnei Gad Bnei Ruvain, like it's Mashma and Pasuk Yud Ches, and the next, in two psukim from here, that Kol Isha Sheyamre Es Picha, would, if it would be very interesting that it would just be Bnei Gad Bnei Ruvain being Mekabel on themselves the Hanhag of Yeshua, not anybody else, right? Also, it'd be very difficult for Bnei Gad Bnei Ruvain to be speaking for the whole tzibur. I mean, Mela, they want to be Mekabel Yeshua as their general. But what if somebody from Sheva Shimon is not interested in being Mekabel? But it would be mashma from the Hemshech HaPsukim that all of Klal Yisrael was Mekabel, and they can't necessarily be Mekabel for somebody else. But like we spoke earlier, that when Yeshua spoke to the Shaitrim, all of Klal Yisrael had an intuition and inherently heard and understood exactly the message that what Yeshua wanted. And we spoke then that it was Ke'en and Nevuah Ketana. But if you look in the Chedesecha from the Na'asa, it says Via'nu Aniyah B'Koil Ram Ashma. So if you have a Koil Ram, that means that they all answered him, meaning it would sound like Klal Yisrael heard this and they all said in response to this. And he says the Lamar is not going to a specific, is not going lazulas, it's not going to answer something up, right, or to say over. And he says, they saw that Yeshua was being Taila his greatness in his Rabbi, in Moshe Rabbeinu. And he was like almost apologizing to them that, one day I may have to ask you to do something. He's the commander-in-chief. He's the general. He's really the Managadar. He's going to be the one that's telling everybody what to do, where to go, how to stand, how to fight. But he doesn't want to say anything on his own. He only wants to be mitzvah with them and remind them and mention to them the tzivuyim, to be mekayim the tzivuyim that that Moshe gave them. And then they got very nervous, and then they all answered with kol ram, to be mechazakim, that he should be mekabel, that he should start his nesius with the starkheit, with pomp and ceremony. And they told him, listen, I know you don't feel comfortable telling us what to do, but we're ready to hear what you have to say. And that's the pshat in Via'nu es Yeshua b'kol ram. And why did they do this? That he should feel comfortable, and even if it means getting out of his comfort zone, he shouldn't be noig b'shiflos binyan zeh. And that's why it says kol asher tzivisonu, to be mekayim the Tanai of Moshe Rabbeinu lavar chalutz of Na'asa, well kol asher tishlochenu, kol asher, meaning kol asher tzivisonu, that's going on Moshe. Na'asa is going on Moshe. Well kol asher tishlochenu nelech, that's something that's personal from Yeshua. That's Klal Yisrael being mekabel on themselves to do that. There's a sefer Mikveh Hamayim. It's a Pirush on Navi. See, he also is machalik that in the pasuk over here that's talking about two different things. Half is Bnei Gad Bnei Ruvain talking, and the other half is the rest of Klal Yisrael al yidei hashoitrim, right? Because Yeshua was mitzvah them to tell Klal Yisrael to prepare the ruchnis, like we spoke previously, and that's the pshat in tzivisonu and tשלחנו. From here it's clear that we see that Klal Yisrael was mekabel, meaning even if they were the ikar, this pasuk is the context of this pasuk is very difficult to put your finger on, but al kapanim there is a kabbalah. It does show that Klal Yisrael is being mekabel Yeshua as a melech and a manik, and not just Bnei Gad Bnei Ruvain. And like the Gemara says in Bava Basra, Pnei Meshach, Pnei Chama, Pnei Shuka, Pnei Levana, Oilai Sabusha, Oilai Saklima. And the Busha was the Ziknei Hadar because they didn't want to be Makabal, the Hanhag of Yeshua. Now here's where things are going to start getting a little bit interesting. It goes like this. The says in Parshas Bikurim, it says, V'onisa v'amarta l'fnei Hashem alekecha. And Rashi says, V'onisa v'amarta is a lashon hara maskar, raising your voice, speaking in a louder tone of voice. And it's brought in the Poskim that when a person says this is the a parish of Aram Yovid Avi, which we say and we darshan by the Leil HaSeder, the mitzvah of Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim, the Godesh Shel Pesach. So the Poskim say from here, you see that you have to say it Haggadah Leil Pesach by Ramas Kol. You have to say it out loud, because the matzah is called lechem oini, which is lechem she'oinen alav dvarim harbe, and the lashon of aniyah is mashma amira b'kol ram, like ve'onisa ve'amarta. So the Achreinim want to ask a kasha in Minchas Chinuch that he writes in Mitzvah Chaf Aleph that a person could be yotzei Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim on the day that he hears it from somebody else, like it didn't shemei ka'ina. And as always gebracht the Meiser Rav and the Shulchan Aruch Rav that the Bnei Habayis, the other people that are mesubim by the Seder, they don't have to actually say the words of the Haggadah, but they could be yotzei by hearing from the Balabayis. But the kasha is, if you need Koil Ram, there's a Yedua de Gevart on the Beis Halevi that you write at the end of it's in the end of Sefer Bereshis, that you can't be yotzei Birkas Kehanim al yidei shemei ha'ka'ina. Why? Because Birkas Kehanim has to be with Koil Ram, because the pasuk says Amor Lahem, and the Gemara darshes Kadam Sha'omer Lach Haveira, like a person tells his friend. So it's not shaykh to be yotzei your chiyuv of Birkas Kehanim with shemei ha'ka'ina. So that's why each person needs to hear it on his own. But if a person does hear it, it's not going to be considered like he has Kol Ram. So, what does this guy do with us? Obviously, besides it's a nice shtickle Torah and it's a lot of ideas, but we could say from here that we had a shaila before. Did they talk to Yeshua al yidei shliach, or did they not talk to Yeshua al yidei shliach? Pashtus, if it would be done al yidei shliach, it would be a problem. It would be a chisaron of shemei ha'ka'ina, just like the Beis Halevi says that you have to say. And you can't be it with Shemei HaKoina because you have the pasuk says Amor Lahem Ka'adam Shemer Lachaveroi, and you can't be Yotze Ka'adam Shemer Lachaveroi al yidei Shemei HaKoina. So Pashas, you have to say that it was done Shaloi al yidei Shliach. And just to take this, so you need to have Koil Ram, and that's Via'nu as Yeshua with this Koil Ram, that he should be Noyegis Malchus Berama. And the pasuk state by in Parshas Vayikra, v'nefesh kisakriv korban mincha l'Hashem. And the Gemara Menachos Kuf Daled Amud Beis says, "Mi darka lahavi mincha." Who usually brings a korban mincha? Ani brings a korban mincha. Ma'ila ani alav kilu ikriv nafshay. Ani, when he brings a mincha, it's kilu he's makriv his nefesh, and that's the hachna that Klal Yisrael needed to go into Eretz Canaan. If you state in the Shloah that Canaan is a lashon of hachna, and that's why the Vayanu at Yeshua b'Koil Ram, with this concept of aniyah as an answering, and also as an aniyus, as an ani, who is ki'ilu hikriv nafshay, and over here they're being makriv nafshay to bring him into Eretz Yisrael. Okay. Next thing is, it's kedai to know, and this we're going to talk about in Mitzvah Shem, throughout the next couple of shiurim for sure. But the Rambam writes in Hilchos Malachim, Parak Dalet Halacha Beis. Talking about a melech, what power does a melech have? See, he says, "V'sheleach b'chol gvul Yisrael." He's able to send to all the boundaries to all the borders of Eretz Yisrael. And he's able to take from the nation the warriors and the strong people. And he's able to use these people as guards and to the various positions of the army. So you see that the Melech has a schus, and the nation is meshubet to him, that he's able to take them and draft them into his army if they need to go out for a war. So that's why Bnei Gad Bnei Ruvain says that even without the choiva and without the tzivui of HaKadosh Baruch Hu of to go over the Yarden Chalutzim, but being that you're a Melech and you're telling us what to, and you want something and you're telling us what to do, so even if it's not a tzivui from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we're meshubet and we're mechuyev to listen to you from the din of a melech, and that's kol asher tשלחנו nelech. It's not just that we're going to be over chalutzim lefnei achenu like we were mechuyev because of the tzivui and the chayk of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But even if you want to send us without fighting for the rest of Klal Yisrael, but just because that's what you told us what to do, since you're the melech and you're able to change people's positions and move them from one place to another, and these soldiers should go here and these soldiers should fight there. So if that's what you want, that's what they have to do. Even he could have said, I don't want to have anything to do with this tonight of Moshe Rabbeinu. We need all of Klal Yisrael to go. Yeah, tonight, no tonight, whatever it is. But Agapanim, that's the din of a melech. And l'chayra, what's going on over here is like this. Any tafkid or any shlichus that you command us to do, even if it's not directly related to the milchama, and that's the pshat in the pasuk of Kol asher tzivisanu na'asa, meaning something. So there's two, like we said before, there's two things. There's the mitzvahs and the tzivuyim from Moshe Rabbeinu, and that Yeshua is reminding them to do, and then there's the other things that Yeshua could take on his own initiative. But like the Bnei Zalshcha said, he needed to take it, a little bit. I don't want to say self-confidence, but in himself. But a lot of times when a person assumes a new position, it takes time for it to grow in him. Now there, obviously we're going to be marich in we want to be marich in the sugi of Yeshua had a din of a melech or not. What exactly was his hanhaga? What exactly was his role? But al kapanim, if he didn't have a din of a melech, so then this wouldn't apply, because this is only this v'shelech b'chol kol Yisrael v'lekech v'namik berman shechayil is only the din of a melech. And I will see that there is makom to say that even that anybody who's a manig of Klal Yisrael, a real manig like Yeshua, even if he etzem doesn't have a din of a melech, so then he could still pull it off. But we have to be ma'arer a very important point over here, that even without the dinim of a melech, there's a mitzvah. I mean, obviously, there's three mitzvahs when you come into Eretz Yisrael. There's the mitzvah of being memana melech, mechias hamalek, and building the Beis Hamikdash, right? The Rambam says that the melech takes care of hamalek and builds the Beis Hamikdash. Even without the dinim and the tzivuyim of the melech, there's a mitzvah to destroy and to eradicate the 7 ummas, the 7 nations that live in Eretz Canaan. Now, the shaila is do we need a melech because that's the halacha that in order to fight this war it has to be done al pi a melech, or the pshat is it's just a practical thing that's the best way to do it. If you have a king and you have a commander in chief to tell you what to do, whatever it is, Yeshua is the commander in chief, whether he had a din of a melech or not. But it's Yadua that the Divrei Brizkirov in Parshas Peshalach, that the pasuk says, "Ksayv zeisi karan b'sefer simbos neYeshua." He says, "Dehine b'chol parsha shabateri yesh b'ter shabiksav v'perusha ter shabapeh." The pasuk itself, the words in the Torah, that's ter shabiksav, and the understanding and the explanations of it is ter shabapeh. And that's the pshat. It says, "Ksayv zeisi karan b'sefer." That's ter shabiksav. The simbos neYeshua is ter shabapeh. That this is the parsha that was given over to Yeshua, like the Mishnah says in Ovis, Moshe kibul Torah Sinai, Moshe got the Torah and Sinai, Masar li Yeshua. The Rambam in his Akdama says, Ve'alozar, the Akdama to Mishnah Torah, says, Ve'alozar, Pinchas, Yeshua, Shloshtan, kiblu mi Moshe, ul Yeshua, Shu Talmideh, Shal Moshe, Moshe, Ter Shabbat, Pev Tzivei Olav. The Rambam says that the Talmidim, the main Talmidim of Moshe Rabbeinu were Alozar, Pinchas, and Yeshua, and all three were Mekabel from Moshe, but Yeshua, that was the Talmid of Moshe, he gave over the Messiah of Ter Shabbat V'tzivei Olav, and he commanded him on it. Right? So he says, even though all three of them were Makabel, the Torah from Moshe Rabbeinu, but the Ikar one who had the Messiah was for Yeshua, and he was commanded on it. And l'chayr, the Makar of this Rambam comes from a Sifri in Parshas Pinchas. It says V'tzaves Yeshua, and the Sifri says Tzavei al Divrei Talmud, command them on the Divrei Torah. And the Rambam says that that's Torah Shabbat Peh, and that's V'simba Ozne Yeshua, the explanation of the Torah. Umemela, that's why in Tmura, that when Yeshua forgot the 300 halachas, B'mei Evel Shel Moshe Rabbeinu, Umdu Kol Yisrael Lahargoi, Klal Yisrael wanted to gang up on him to kill him, because he's the one that's mitzvah and has the tzivah to give over the Torah Shabbat Peh. So Milvad, what Yeshua has the din of a melech, in a sense, of being the manig of Klal Yisrael to fight these milchamas, and everyone's mechuyev to listen to him midin melech or midin manig, but they also have to listen to him midin haTorah of I don't want to use the term Gadol Hadar because it's incorrect, although he was the Gadol Hadar, but I feel like whenever we use that term, it doesn't mean anything. It's very cheap. But Al Kapanim, being that Yeshua was the man of Klal Yisrael, so then that's why they had to listen to him, even if he didn't have a din of a melech, but he had a din of the greatest one that everyone would be mechuyev to listen to.